Avoidants don't fear commitment because they don't care. They fear commitment because it makes them feel like a zoo animal where they're the monkey and you're the person who just bought a ticket that really wants to be with them. Unlike what most people believe, avoidants do want connection. They crave intimacy just like the rest of us. But when things start to get specific, when it's time to define the relationship, to say I love you or I'm yours and you are mine, the classic dialogues we're all meant to say and hear from our partners, their nervous system hits the panic button. Their brain doesn't register love, it registers trap. To us, commitment feels like building a life with someone. To the avoidant, it feels like losing control of their own. A lot of times, avoidants will say things that they don't actually mean in the heat of the moment. They'll agree to move in together, say they want to be with you forever, or even worse, they'll get married. Now, don't get me wrong, these are all things that we've all done. Besides, the avoidant really does love you. They're not out here playing mind games, but the difference between you agreeing to get in a relationship and the avoidant agreeing to get into a relationship is you don't see commitment as a threat to your independence. The avoidant does. By committing, the avoidant is going against every instinct in their body. Things they've learned early in childhood, that trusting others is bad. Giving control to someone else is bad. Allowing someone to lead is bad. Imagine asking a pilot to take a seat and handing the cockpit to a passenger. That's how commitment feels to the avoidant. It's not that they don't want you, it's that commitment asks for the very thing they've spent their whole life guarding, freedom. And freedom for the avoidant isn't just a lifestyle, it's protection, it's safety, it's the armor they've built in childhood, when love maybe came with strings, expectations, guilt, or silence. They were raised in an environment where very early on in their childhood, they learn they can't trust their parents. When you get abandoned by the very people who were supposed to be your protection from the outside world, you learn that there's only really one person who can't abandon or disappoint you, yourself. So ever since that canon event, they learn to be highly independent. But here's the problem. Avoidants are not independent people. They are counterdependent. There is a difference between acting secure and actually being secure. Deep down, avoidants are scared of being consumed by your needs and wants. They imagine drowning in emotional responsibility, chained to somebody else's version of love, unable to breathe. Their worst case scenario isn't being alone, it's being stuck. So what do they do when love starts to feel too close? They pull out the avoidant Bible. Step 1, hyper-independence. I'm fine on my own. It's their mantra, their shield, even when their heart is screaming for connection. Step 2, fault finding. They start picking at the relationship. Suddenly, the little things you do, your laugh, your texts, your plans, don't feel charming, they feel suffocating. They start rewriting the story. Maybe we're just not compatible. Step 3, they avoid deep conversations like an expert. Avoidants are expert at indirect conversations and saying a whole lot without saying anything. And step 4, slowing it all down, taking space, getting distant, putting intimacy on ice. Because if things get too warm, the panic starts to melt their defenses. When they show all of this behavior, it's not a reflection of your worth, it's a reflection of their fear. They're thinking, if I just let this happen, I'm handing you the power to destroy me. What if I lose myself? What if I can't leave when I need to? What if I love you and it all still falls apart? That's why they hesitate. That's why they freeze. Now here's where it gets tricky. You might believe, if I just show them that I'm safe, they'll stop running. So you wait, you love them harder, but that's the classic rookie mistake. The more you reach, the more they retreat. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because your love is brushing up against a wound that they haven't healed yet. The truth is, avoidants don't commit because someone convinced them. They commit because something inside of them shifts. Because they choose to face that fear. Because they realize that losing you feels worse than the risk of letting them in. Can they change? Yes, but not through your effort, only through their own awareness. They've got to want to rewrite the story they've been living in. They've got to be willing to peel back the armor and sit with fear. That's not your job, that's theirs. And if they can't, don't spend your life proving you're worthy of love that's afraid to stay. Don't shrink yourself to fit inside someone else's fear. You deserve a love that doesn't feel like a negotiation, that doesn't feel like a proving contest. A love that shows up, that chooses you freely, that doesn't need space to remember your value. When you find that kind of love, this thing you're going through won't even feel like love anymore. If you're someone that's going through a relationship with an avoidant and you're not sure what to do, or you're struggling to heal from an avoidant relationship in the past, or you want to create just a great relationship, then you can apply for one of 5 calls with me where we can heal these traumas and align you and show you how to create the best relationship that you deserve. I look forward to meeting you.